Hello and welcome to today's edition of Diction Avenue. This is the show where you learn how to speak right, sound right, and of course, sound English. My name is Abigail Anaba and I am your host on the show today. Today we're going to move a little away from sounds and we'll be taking your questions. Yes, a whole lot of you have sent in questions over the weeks and I decided why not give some of those questions a shot during the show today. So we will be answering some of the questions that you sent in. And so if you have a question, this is the time for you to ask anything English. So send in your questions and you probably will have it answered today on the Avenue. Meanwhile, I have a question for you. As usual, we have a question of today on the Avenue. So if you do not have a question, I have one for you. And what is our question of today? I'm sure it's going to be up there in just a little bit. You're going to see what our question of the day is. And that question has to do with spoken English. And we are asking, what do you think? What do you say when you want to tell someone you will never go to a place, especially a place that is special or unusual? Would you say, I'll never step foot in, or I'll never set foot in? What do you think is correct, A or B? Well, your choice. Why not send in your answer to the number 0805-584-9525, which is the correct answer. Is it step foot in or set foot in when you're trying to say you'll never go to a place, especially a place that is special or unusual? I'll never step foot in or I'll never set foot in. Well, go right ahead, pick up your phone, send your answer to 0805-584-9525. Again, 0805-584-9525. Do not forget to include your name and where you're texting us from so that when we are giving out the answer, we know exactly who we're talking to, right? Good. So go right ahead, pick up your phone and do the right thing. Well, as I said at the beginning of the show, we will be taking some of the questions that have come in over the past week. I had a couple of people sending me text messages on WhatsApp. Oh, please, how do we pronounce this? Oh, please, this or that. Okay, so we are going to take all those answers on today's show. And we're going to start right off with our very first question on Ask Anything English. And the first question comes in from Victor. Victor from Jos has a question on Ask Anything English, and his question goes, how do we pronounce these words? And he gave 3 words. He said, because I get confused in pronouncing them. That's Victor from Jos. Well, I'll give you an answer to that question, Victor. We're talking about 3 words here. And yes, you are right. A good number of people find these words confusing. They're not able to tell one from the other. Sometimes they mix up the words. So what is the pronunciation? Well, the very first word there is pronounced floor. That's F-L-O-O-R is pronounced floor. The next word, F-L-O-U-R, is pronounced flower. Yeah, I know that a lot of people do go floor for F-L-O-U-R, trying to differentiate it from flower, which is the last one, which a lot of people do not mispronounce. I'm sure everyone knows that the last word there is flower. That's the plant. But when it comes to flour that is used in baking, a lot of people say flour, but that's wrong. It's pronounced exactly the same way as flower the plant. So you have flower the plant, flour used to bake, and then you walk on the floor. The floor is the ground where you walk. So I hope Victor, yes, that question was from Victor. I hope, Victor, you have an answer to your question now and you will no longer be confused when you are trying to pronounce those 3 words. Like I said, flour to bake, flour is a plant, you walk on the floor. So take note of that. The next question we have comes from Ngozi, and Ngozi says, Hi, my name is Ngozi. I like you. I like the way you speak. I like Diction Avenue. What can I do to speak well? Well, thank you, Ngozi, for liking me and for liking Diction Avenue. Well, how can you speak well? I have a couple of tips here for you, Ngozi. Actually, 4 tips that can help you become a better speaker. I must say that for myself, what has helped me is a whole lot of practice. And the things that I'm mentioning here are things that I did too that helped me to become a better speaker. So how to be a better speaker? You have to listen to educated speakers. When you have to have people that I call mentors. Well, these mentors may be people that you know or people you do not know, but they definitely should be people that you can listen to and you can hear from. So you could pick maybe someone, a speaker on television that you really like, and then you want to speak like that person. So you listen. That's the first thing you do if you want to speak right. You listen. And then you read. Yes, because it's not just about listening to what people say. You also have to read to gain knowledge. So you listen and then you read to gain knowledge, and then you practice how to say new words. And when I say new words, I'm not only talking about words that you didn't know. I'm also talking about words that you know but you didn't know how to pronounce. So you practice how to say new words. And finally, if you really want to take it a notch better, take a course in public speaking or a course in spoken English. And speaking of courses, there are a whole number of them. You can find so many courses online since we're facing the pandemic and a lot of people can't go to physical classes. You can find lots of classes online. And you can take one which is offered by the Institute of Certified Communications, ecom.ng. Just visit the website. You'll find so many courses that could work for you. Right. We'll move on to the next question, and this is coming from, it's not a question, it's actually a comment coming from Odede Michael, Ijayi, Lagos. And Odede says, to the compare of Diction Avenue, I watched a program of yours. It was simply amazing. Love you all. Love you too, Michael. Thank you very much. And we move on to the next, which is actually a question. This question is coming, no name, but the question goes, I love your program. Thank you very much. Please, which one is correct? You have been there or you have been there? All right, so reading out this question, it might be difficult to tell what 2 words we're talking about here, but you can see the question right there on your screen. We are talking about 2 words that sound exactly alike. They're homophones. So it might be difficult for you to tell the difference. It could be confusing because there and there are homophones. They sound exactly alike. They're pronounced exactly the same way. But the difference between there and there is that there is an adverb. T-H-E-R-E is an adverb. And you know what an adverb does in a sentence? It tells you what is happening to it. It gives you, really? An adverb tells you helps to qualify a verb. Thank you, my brain, for coming right back at the right time. And then a pronoun, the second, which is a pronoun, is used in place of a noun. So in your sentence, you have been there. You're looking for an adverb of place, which is there. So T-H-E-R-E is the right word and not a pronoun, T-H-E-I-R. So take note of that. I hope you got that correct now. And sorry for the mix-up. My brain just went poof, poof, and I forgot what I wanted to say. Right. We move on to the next question very, very quickly. And this time, this is Ernest. Ernest from Lagos is asking for the pronunciation of a word. This was from last week. This is a word I took last week, and it says, please repeat the word. And so, Ernest, I'm going to spend a few moments explaining how the word is pronounced. The word is compare. 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 If you look at the transcription of that word, the first part is kum, because you can see the schwa right there after the k sound. You have which is a schwa, which is why you don't go com, you go kum, kum. And then the final part is the pair, pair. Remember that was the sound that we took during the avenue last week, the air sound. So compare, compare, compare. That's how you pronounce that word. Of course, if the word that comes immediately after this word begins in a vowel, then the final r sound that you can see in bracket there comes into play. For instance, if you wanted to say compare us, compare it, you will introduce that r sound, which is sometimes referred to as a linking R. But if the word immediately after compare begins in a consonant, then you drop the r. So you wouldn't go compare them, no, you go compare them. But if the word immediately after is a vowel, then you go compare it, compare us. Using the R, the final R or the R sound there to link between the word compare and the vowel immediately after it. Right. I think we're going to take about the final question for today, and this question comes from Dorcas. Dorcas says, please help me pronounce the word and she gave us her name. Dorcas wants to learn how to say her name, and so we're going to spend some time teaching Dorcas how to say her name. So the name is Dorcas. Dorcas. Again, pay attention to the final part of that name. That's the part that a lot of people get wrong. Of course, there are two things that people get wrong with the name. Sometimes they give it the wrong, they give the wrong syllable. They say the wrong syllable loud, which means that they stress the wrong syllable. And at other times, they completely destroy the second syllable in the word. So I have heard people say Dorcas, which actually just destroys the name. That's not how the name is said. It's said as Dorcas. Dorcas. The first part is the O sound pairing with D. So you go door, and that's the loud part of the word. Door. And then the second part, even though you have the letter A there, the letter A there is weak. It's a very faint sound. In fact, you can eliminate the sound completely, and you'll still be saying that word correctly. So that is how you can say that word correct, is by eliminating the final A there. So say the second syllable as if you're bringing together the sound k and s, ks, 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 right? So Dorcas, Dorcas, Dorcas. Right, so you can repeat that name over and over again until you get used to it. Dorcas, Dorcas, and that's how you say the name. Right. So if you have sent in questions, I will be looking at the phone lines in just a bit to look at your questions. But if you do have any questions to ask, do not forget that you could always visit our website, www.ecom.ng. You can also send us an email, admin@ecom.ng, or tweet @ecom.ng. And right now on our Facebook page, we have a pinned post which has Ask Anything English in it. If you have any English language based question right after this show, you can just head to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Institute of Certified Communicators. Go right there, look at the pinned post, and drop your question, and we will find time to deal with those questions. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp, 0805-584-9525. And we will be going on a short break, but before then, we will again look at the question of the day. We asked a question at the beginning of the show, and that question was, what do you say when you want to tell someone you'll never go to a place, especially a place that is special or unusual? Do you say, I will never step foot in, or do you say, I will never set foot in? What do you think? Well, send your answer. 0805 584 9525 is the number to text. 0805 584 9525. Do not forget to include your name and where you're texting us from. And now we'll take that break for Stories That Teach, and I promise you, you're going to learn something from our story for today, as usual. So we'll take that break now, and we'll be right back after the break. Don't go away.
Jason and the Muffins. Jason looked longingly at the tray of muffins. It was Saturday, and his friends were coming over to play. His mom had made the muffins for them, but Jason could not stop staring longingly at them. Would Mother notice if he took one muffin? There were so many of them. Jason quickly picked a muffin from the top of the pile and threw it into his mouth. Just then, he heard paw steps. He didn't have the time to chew, so he quickly swallowed the muffin. "Your friends are here," his mother called as 10 puppies and older dogs trooped into the kitchen, barking excitedly. Jason willed the food down his throat, but it was a struggle. He wished he hadn't taken the muffin. "It's so good to see you all," Mother Dog said to the visitors as she gave Jason a questioning look. "It was a long run," Peter panted, his long tongue sticking out of his mouth. "My stomach is making noises," Philip added. I can smell muffins," Toby barked gleefully, sniffing the air. "Yes, Toby, I made 13 muffins. One for each of you," Mrs. John said, pointing to the table. "Jason, you've been awfully quiet," Anna Pleasure growled. All the dogs turned to Jason, and then they noticed he was choking. Mother gave him first aid, and out popped the muffin, still unchewed. The end.
Welcome back. I am sure you enjoyed that story, didn't you? You learned something from Jason and the muffins. And I'm sure that the lesson you must have learned from that is it's not a very good idea to steal. No, it's not. Because what you steal might actually get stuck in your throat, and then you will choke. So do not steal. That is a lesson from the story that we listened to just now, Jason and the Muffins. Well, if, like it said at the end of the story, if you would like that story for yourself, just send us a message and we'll send the story to you. So you could use it at home to teach your children or to teach your younger ones. So just before the break, we did give out our question of the day. And the question had to do with, what do you say when? And so you still have an opportunity to send in your answer to that question. What do you say when you want to tell someone you'll never go to a place, especially a place that is special or unusual? Do you say, I will never step foot in, or I will never set foot in? I've received hundreds of answers already, and I'll be looking at those answers in just a bit, but you can still send in your answer, and the number to text is 0805 584 9525. Well, I have a few minutes to take 1 or 2 questions that have come in. I have this question, Lara from Ikorodu. And Laura says, when a PHCN on the light, What should I say? All right, Lara. When what you mean is when power is restored. That's what you should say. Power has been restored, because what you're talking about is actually power supply and not light per se. So power supply has been restored, power has been restored. Those are things that you can say. They've restored power supply. BATN has restored power supply. The key points that you're taking note of here is that you're discussing power supply and not light. So use power supply to explain what you're talking about. Let me see. I have this question, someone on WhatsApp. I do not have a name. Okay, this is Sunday. Okay, I think this is Sunday from Agege, or he's asking how the word Sunday is pronounced. Okay, so I have just pronounced the word. The day of the week is Sunday. Sunday. That's how you pronounce that word, or that day of the week. Okay. Okay, so I have this question coming from Barrister Olakunle Oregboye from Bagada. And he says, which one is correct? The bird is in the trees, or the bird is on the trees? I actually feel that there's something wrong with this question. Are you talking about one tree or many trees? So if it's many trees, then we'll use in, because we're talking about a cluster of trees. But if it's just one tree, then it would be on the tree. So in for a cluster of trees, on for just one. That's my answer to that question. Well, I will be looking at the answers to questions the question that I sent in, or that I gave out at the beginning of the show, and that takes me all the way to the beginning of the text messages, which is a long way down. And the very first answer I got today came in from Adebayo Shemilore. Adebayo Shemilore from Ogun State says the answer is, well, correct. You are correct, Adebayo Shemilore. Thank you very much for sending in your answer to that question. My name is Adigun Shakirat from Orisumbare, and you gave us a wrong answer. Well, thank you for contributing to the program. This is Opeyemi from Lagos with a correct answer. Well done, Opeyemi from Lagos. This is Ayinde Dorcas from Alagbado. Ayinde Dorcas gave us a correct answer to that question. So, thank you, Dorcas. Let me see. This is Babatunde Bisi from Igondo, who also gave us a correct answer to the question. I'm going to be taking as many answers as possible today. This is Mercy. My name is Mercy. I am from Ogijo. I hope this is Ogijo. But that is the correct answer, Mercy. Mercy, well done. This is Chidera Favor, texting from Egbeda. Chidera from Egbeda gave us a correct answer to that question. This is Benita from Ikaja with a wrong answer. Okay, we move on. And this is Afureke. I hope that I got that right. I don't want to. Felicity, let me take that name. Felicity from Okearo, who has a correct answer to the question. Well done, Felicity. And this is, let me see, Akinshola. This is Akinshola Adeyemi from Odogunyo, Ikorodu, Lagos State, with a correct answer to the question. Okay, and this is Patricia. Patricia has a question. She says, how is the name pronounced? And Patricia, the name you sent was Gabriella. And that's how the name is pronounced, Gabriella. And let me see if I can take one more answer. This is David Mudupe from Egbeda. And David gave us a correct answer. David Mudupe with a correct answer to that question. And so we'll go back to our question of the day so that you can tell what the correct answer to that question is. So the question of the day again was, what do you say when? When you want to tell someone you will never go to a place, especially a place which is special or unusual. Do you say step foot in or set foot in? Well, let me start by explaining that we're talking about an idiom here, and the idiomatic expression is not step foot in. So if you had said A, then your answer is wrong. You do not say I will not step foot in, even though a lot of people say that. That's wrong. The correct expression, the correct idiomatic expression to use is I will not set foot in. So I will not set foot in that place, or I will not set foot in his house anymore. Set foot in, which is B. B is the correct answer and not A. And that's just how far we can go on the show today. Just like that, the time is gone. Well, next week is another date we can keep, and we will learn more English, how to speak right, sound right, and sound English. Do not forget to take out time during the week to visit any of our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or even our website. You will definitely be the better for it. www.ecom.ng is the website to visit. And so till I come your way again next week, my name is Abigail Anaba. See you next week.